Good evening and welcome to our virtual edition of our 8th grade parent-student meeting for 2021 or the class of 2025. My name is Bridget Murphy and I am the principal here at Assumption High School, and I'm really excited that you are interested in learning more about what we have to offer here at Assumption. Hopefully this presentation will answer many of the questions that you have, definitely make you feel welcome and give you the opportunity to connect with us if you have further questions. We are really looking forward to the class of 2025 and working with you and your student and your family to be a part of that Greater Assumption family. So the format for our presentation this evening is structured using a slide presentation, which I will try to make my way through because I know that many of you can read through these, of course, but I will at least just take some time to introduce some of the information, maybe comment on the information as helpful. So hopefully we can all gain from this opportunity. And again, if additional questions exist after the night, please don't hesitate to reach out. So the goals of this informational session is basically just to do that, provide some information, kind of try and highlight what we believe sets Assumption High School and the experience that students have here apart from other schools in our area, give information regarding tuition assistance, academics, extracurricular activities, and then give some details as far as that admissions process. And then, of course, this evening in person, there's an opportunity to be able to connect with individuals, but also via phone, email. You can definitely reach out to us. We want to have you make an informed high school choice. Department representatives, administration, we have Andy Craig, our president, myself, Bridget Murphy as our principal, and then Mike Frieden, who is our director of student success. In our student services office, we have Mrs. Lynn Day, who is our academic advisor, Kelly Bush, who is our director of student wellness, and Tammy Quested, who is our registrar. In our business office, Carrie Jones and Penny Trier are able to answer questions about any sort of tuition, payment information, family tuition plan, scholarships, anything like that your family might be interested in learning more about. And then athletics, Wade King is our athletic director. He is also our head football coach. He would have the ability to answer basic questions as far as seasons and representatives for specific sports. For our fine arts department, we have our band director, Aaron Marr, who is with us this evening, as well as our choir director, Trevor Less. Both Aaron and Trevor are involved in our drama department, and so they would also be able to address any questions that you might have regarding our drama program here at Assumption. So I guess why choose the Assumption experience? And families ask us this question, and I'm excited to be able to talk about all of these, I think really important reasons. First being that it's a really faith-centered experience. We're really trying very hard, I think, to integrate that faith component into the everyday. It's not just about having a religion class at school, but it's hopefully about the idea of creating that faith-centered culture where students are able to turn to faith, turn to prayer, and feel that is an active part of their everyday. We also, of course, being an educational institution, are really driven with our academics. We're trying to be rigorous, but at the same time be supportive. So giving students that challenge, but also allowing them to be able to struggle, but know that they have that support to be successful. We are very community driven. I think that is a long history of alumni and supporters who believe in that faith-based Catholic education that we provide here at Assumption. And so we have a lot of hands, I think, that are involved in making this experience really meaningful for our students and their families. I'm happy to say that, that affordability piece is something that was not always existing. And I think, in the last 15 years, really, that has changed entirely. And any family who desires that Assumption education for their student, we are able to work with and provide opportunities to be able to make that attainable. We have a variety of extracurricular opportunities. Looking for that whole student. We know that education is not just about that classroom experience. While that is really important, I think there are a lot of other ways for students to learn, and promoting that diversity in a student experience to be able to be involved in a lot of different ways. And that is the biggest thing that we encourage students when they are visiting and even just thinking about high school in general is, don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to meet new people. try something that you've never done. And obviously that doesn't mean to shy away from those things that you're passionate about and know that you're strong in, but also, use this experience in high school to be able to learn more about what is out there and how can we, develop our gifts, whether we know about them at this time or we're just learning about them. I think grounded in respect for self, others, and the gifts from God that surround us. That is really a cultural aspect and something that we are always trying to reinforce with our students, in that, how we treat one another and how we treat ourselves, and certainly our relationship with God are going to set the tone for all the things that we're going to do in our lives. And then, of course, sending forth graduates that make a difference in the world. We do not believe that future success is an accident. We believe that there are a lot of things that contribute to that reality for our graduates. Community of faith. This tells a little bit about kind of part of that component. We do have a service component that is a starting point, I think, for many of our students in terms of getting involved in our community. Over the course of 4 years, our students do have a minimum of 80 service hours that they document. But as I've said, most far exceed this minimum. And they are creating throughout their 4 years a service hour resume that they are building as they document service hours in our community. And of course, those things can then be shared as they are seeking to take their next steps, either into the education realm in terms of scholarships or admissions opportunities for colleges. But also, I think as they look to pursue career paths, they have an opportunity to really think about the way that what they do as a vocation in this life can serve other people. They are all required to take a Catholic theology course. As a Catholic institution, we do have a pre-prescribed curriculum regarding our Catholic faith, which involves every semester they are taking an in-person theology course for one of the 2 quarters during a semester. And then during the other quarter of that semester, they are doing a course that is called a faith seminar course. And that it will vary per semester, but there is a community faith study where all the students in the school are, studying. Either there may be a book, there may be, videos that have content that students can have some choice with as far as choosing within a certain topic. But then it's just a reflection-based course and a chance to be able to, learn with and from peers in an online technology-based setting. In terms of encouraging us to grow and discuss our faith. Also, we have retreats that are a full day experience every school year for each grade level. So we do bring in some retreat teams to do some of those. We have an alum actually who comes in and presents as well. And then our junior retreat is one that's very service oriented. So our juniors go out into the community in a typical year. That would look a little different than it's going to look this year, but it's still going to take place, and we're going to have a good opportunity to be able to connect in different ways, but also be able to serve others within our community and learn a little bit more about some of the service organizations that surround us. And again, just opening our minds to really how are we called to help and serve other people. Every day does begin with a prayer, and a lot of teachers do actually begin every class with a prayer. We do have chapel mass every Tuesday morning. It is optional. But that kicks off our Eucharistic adoration, which is present within our chapel all day on Tuesdays, and students have the opportunity to be able to visit adoration during their study hall times, and just, I guess, benefit from that presence within our building every week. So it's pretty awesome. We also have outside members of the community that will come in and spend time in adoration, and they are definitely welcome. So parents or community members, if they are interested in taking part, we welcome that. We do have all school mass, and it is celebrated monthly, but also we would have holy days in our auditorium so in this space here in our auditorium is where we would typically celebrate our all school masses, just to try and have that more reverent atmosphere. Every Thursday morning, we also have a parents in prayer group, and they often will pray in the chapel. But during this time, they've been actually congregating outside at certain times of the year. But we do have it is a dedicated group of individuals, and people are all welcome to join in that group to be able to pray for the intentions of our students and their families and the Greater Assumption family. Academic highlights. People always ask questions about standardized testing. Our last point of, class numbers for the class of 2019, we had an average ACT score of 24.3. that involved 95% of our students taking the test, which is extremely high relative to, I would say, typical high schools in our state, but also in any state, because, of course, that reflects often students who are looking to pursue a next level of college education. And so with 95% of our students being tested, a composite at that number is really exciting, and we're really proud of our students, as the state average is 21.6 in that same year, which certainly reflects far lower percentage of students that would take that exam. Many schools would have it closer to a 60 or even maybe 70% in a really high district of even taking the test. So our college credit program is something students ask and parents ask a lot about. Annually, our students are earning over 3,000 college credits on our campus through a dual credit program that we use. Eastern Iowa Community Colleges, specifically Scott Community College, we partner with them. And so we have master's level faculty who are our teachers who have the credentials to be adjunct professors at Scott. Are able to then, students can take classes throughout their regular school day, and due to the rigor of the course, students can actually receive credit both for the high school course as well as the college course. So it's kind of killing two birds with one stone. Really great opportunity. We don't do a specific cohort type program where students are looking to get an associate's degree. It's more of an a la carte type of setup. So if students are interested in particular classes but not others, you don't have to necessarily do them all in order to do any of them. So we have 99% of the class of 2021 is going to graduate from Assumption with a start to their college transcript already in place. So that's pretty exciting. We had 85% of the class of 2020 who graduated with over a semester of college credits on a Scott Community College transcript, and 41% left with a full year of college credit or more to take with them. So it's really exciting. And I think in terms of saving families time and money, that is a really key element that our students and our families are really bringing back to us and are really excited about. As far as scholarship dollars, this is always an impressive number to me, and we collect it every year, and so it's just one of those things where I think when I share with people, they're going, "Really?" 103 members of the graduating class of 2020. So we had about 103 students in that class. And we asked them to submit their scholarships earned, total scholarship dollars earned, and that class earned $5,557,000 in college scholarships cumulatively. So, of course, that's adding together any scholarship that they applied for, not necessarily that they accepted, because say if they applied to 4 schools and they received scholarships at more than one of those schools, we just collect that cumulative total. But even that, $5,557,000 is a lot of money, and something that can make a big difference, obviously, and pays dividends, having that going forward. Our Assumption faculty and staff, this is a couple years old, but this is just kind of the fun image of, kind of, I think, who we are and how much our teachers really make a difference here. They really care about our students. They try, of course, to challenge them, but they're also, they have good personalities, and students in general, I think, really appreciate that about our faculty. We have a lot of range of diversity in terms of our level of experience, all the way from first-year teachers to 38 years in the classroom at Assumption specifically. Overall longevity, average teacher is here almost 10 years in this current school year. And we have 17 employees who are AHS alumni. So definitely kind of a sign that, we want to give back. So, I myself would be an example. I graduated from here, and certainly while I recognize there were tons of things that were awesome about my Assumption education, I think anyone who's here can also recognize that there are areas where we're always trying to grow and improve. And so those of us who are, continuing on the other side of that fence are really, working hard to take those areas of strength and make them stronger, and take those areas of weakness and hopefully improve those in really great ways as well. We have 48% of our Assumption faculty who have master's degrees in our subject area, which goes hand in hand with that dual credit program, because we're able then to offer a lot of those college level courses, college credit, dual credit courses, without having to send our students off campus to be able to take them. They can take them right within our classrooms and our hallways and integrate them throughout their regular school day. We really, I think, while it's difficult, it's important to embrace, this technology that we are, I think, immersed in, and something that is here, and I think it's here to stay. And it's important for us, I think, especially at this 14 to 18-year-old age range, to work with our students in trying to learn how to manage that successfully within your life. And certainly at this age, we're not perfect at it. It's something that is an ongoing conversation and something where we definitely aren't perfect at it, but it is something where I think if we just close our eyes and pretend like it's not there, I'm not sure that we're doing the service to our students. So in 2012, we did embrace this one-to-one laptop initiative. All of our students do receive a school-issued laptop computer, and we are utilizing those regularly within our coursework curriculum. We have, especially obviously during this most recent time period where we, had to, last quarter of school year last year, where we had to jump right into that online learning. I think that was a huge component where we were really equipped to be able to communicate with our students and be able to continue that education with mandatory classes. Our teachers, basically had kind of a two-day turnaround, and then we were back in action with getting students, learning, assessing, and continuing on with their routines, which was awesome and something that our students and our teachers worked very hard to do. But I couldn't have been more proud of them in the way they handled that. Students are, of course, expected to treat technology in a responsible manner, and we're talking not just in terms of that charging and handling the machines, but in terms of digital citizenship. And that, again, is an ongoing conversation and something that we are always trying to model, but also, I think, help them to understand on a personal level. All students have school email accounts, and we do use that to be able to communicate with our classmates as well as teachers, trying to keep that, professional level of communication, trying to teach them so that as they transition into the workplace, it's something that they can do. And as I mentioned before, electronic textbooks, even virtual lab exercises. We have VR technology that is being used within our school, interactive learning systems with, artificial intelligence and things like that are keeping our students, on the cusp of what's going on in education right now. Academic requirements, we do have listing out of course, our academic departments and the requirements in terms of what students would have to take for graduation. We do require 26 credits, and that does include, of course, a theology requirement or a religion requirement for our students, as well as a lot of those core subject areas that are colleges are looking for. People always ask that, there's no foreign language requirement. Yes, there is none. Part of that is, I think we're trying to serve a wide range of students. We have students who have a lot of different academic needs and academic goals, and in some cases, learning challenges just make that area of elective a little bit more difficult. And so we don't want to limit our students who maybe would not thrive in that, and nor would they maybe need it for their future, to be limited by that. But that said, I would say that we probably 98% of our students are taking at least 2 years of a foreign language. So I guess as freshmen, I would encourage you, if you are looking to be college bound, we would highly recommend 2 to 4 years. A lot of schools are going to require you to have 3 years of the same foreign language to be able to go on and not have to then take continued foreign language in college. Or if you had 2 years of the same foreign language in high school, you'd be able to get admitted, but then end up generally taking more once you get to college. So that's a question people ask a lot. We do have a year of fine arts requirement, and that could be in the vocal arts, in the instrumental music, or in that visual art side of things. And you can look in the course catalog. There's lots of options as far as our visual arts program is concerned for students who are more hands-on and learning on that side of the fine arts curriculum. Wellness is a half credit, and a lot of times freshmen, depending on if they are involved in those music courses or fine arts courses, as freshmen, you can also maybe get your wellness credit as a freshman, depending on your other interests. College credit courses. This is just a listing of the college credit courses that we offer with dual credits. There are 64 total college credits available, and there's just a wide range you can see across all 9 academic departments that students can pick and choose from. You do not have to take them all in order to take one. You can build yourself kind of a 4-year plan that includes any or as many of these as you desire. Advanced placement courses. Advanced placement, or AP, is another distinction that students and parents have heard about sometimes or want to ask about. There are 9 AP courses that are available that students sometimes opt for. It just depends upon what their goals are. Maybe more prestigious universities have a different type of expectation in terms of AP. A lot of students do gravitate, to be totally honest, toward those college credit courses. But again, if you're really passionate about an area, AP is something where you can really dig in and get into a really high level of learning with content as well. So freshman course requirements for all incoming students. This is kind of what a basic schedule is going to look like. We do have a traditional 8-period school day. So all of your classes meet every day. And the required freshman courses, as we discussed, there's that faith seminar, that Theology 9, so that 9th grade religion in-person class. And then in the quarter in which you are not in your in-person theology course, you are going to be in your PE course, which for freshmen is called Principles of Fitness. All freshmen take PE together. Once you get to be 10th, 11th, or 12th graders, you have a little more option to choose whether or not you want to do weight training or competitive fitness or lifetime fitness, just depending on your interests. And then those grade levels are mixed together with PE. But for freshmen, you are in freshman PE with just other freshmen. And then during the time in which you are in that PE class is when you will be assigned for your faith seminar course. So you will have a theology component. It will just be delivered in that online mechanism. Your English course is called Literature and Composition, and all freshmen will take that course. It is a good combination of writing and reading, analysis of literature, and also they do ask you to do some oral presentation in there as well. All freshmen do take biology, and those are it's another year-long course. That Literature and Composition is a single course, and it is both semesters as well. And then World Civilizations is your social studies course, and that is a 2-semester or a full year course as well. Math, every student is going to have to determine kind of what level makes the most sense for that student. And depending on your background, you're going to have to maybe have a discussion with your current math teacher and figure out what might make the most sense. I would say that a large percentage of students are looking at that Algebra 1 as they enter freshman year. But again, if math is a struggle for you and it's something that you're not certain about, what your comfort level is with algebra, there is a pre-algebra option. And then for those students who have already completed Algebra 1, some of you would have been coming over here for algebra already here as 8th graders, you're going to be looking at that Algebra 2 or Algebra 2 for calculus, depending on what your goals are beyond that. In the information packet that we gave you, there's kind of a flow chart that gives a little bit of an idea of some possible or common math sequences. So that's a really good reference if you're having questions about that. And then there are going to be 2 periods of your day where you're going to have an option to choose some electives. And this is where you're going to select, and the next slide will involve some elective options, but some of those electives are year-long options and other ones are 1 semester at a time. So many common elective requests or choices that 9th graders make would be a foreign language. And other ones that they would make, maybe that fine arts requirement. They might look at wellness. And again, the next slide will be a list of those. And then the 8th period of the day, and it's not always that in this order. Of course, these can be in any order of your schedule once we get your requests. But you will have a study hall at some point in one of those 8 periods a day. We have our students are very active and get involved in a lot of different things. And so we want to make sure that they do have some time to be able to work on the outside of class expectations. And so that study hall provides a great opportunity for that. This just details kind of what I spoke about with the religion and PE. You're going to get a quarter credit of each of those Theology 9 Faith Seminar and PE courses each semester. And then you will also have that Faith Seminar in the online format during the time in which you're in PE. Math course selections. Again, this just sort of spells those out if you want a little more detail on that, but I did already mention that as we were on that last slide. So if you would like one of those freshman course worksheets, it was included in the folder if you received that folder at your grade school. But if you are looking for those, our student services table can help you with that as well. Here are your year-long courses that I mentioned. That English course, Literature and Composition, the science course, Biology, and Social Studies is the World Civilizations course. You're going to take all 3 of those as an incoming freshman. Elective options, here's the list, and I did mention some of the common ones. Spanish, which is the in-house foreign language option. Most freshmen are going to select either Spanish 1 if you are new to Spanish or have limited exposure to Spanish. If you have a lot of experience with Spanish or have taken a couple of years in middle school and you feel as though you would like to start with Spanish 2, you can certainly do that. We do have students who are maybe native speakers or speak Spanish frequently at home and also have quite a bit of grammatical background, who even start in Spanish 3, but that would be more of an exception. So if you have questions about that, I guess you can speak with our student services department, and they can give you a little bit more guidance. I would also direct you to maybe your current Spanish teacher, just to sort of give you some thoughts as to what to consider when you're selecting a level of that course. Band and choir, as I said, those are a year long. There is an option if you are a musician and you want to do both vocal music and instrumental music. You have the option of signing up for those as half courses. So you would basically do band and choir on an every other day basis, and you would just get a half credit for each of them, which would still allow you then to fill your schedule for the rest of the day with those academic courses that are available. Art courses, visual art courses, art foundations, drawing and painting, 3D art, even graphic arts. You have the option of taking any of those, and those are all semester long. So you could do one semester as a freshman, and you could do another semester later on if you are a visual art student and that's your passion. Wellness is, as I mentioned, a required course for graduation by the state. So every student does have to take that in order to graduate. Literature appreciation is a course for those students who just absolutely love to read, and this offers a lot of choice within your reading. This is a class that often we do see juniors and seniors who feel like they have a lot of reading for all their other courses, and they never get to read maybe things for fun, or they don't take the time or make the time to do that. And this was a course that we really created to hopefully create some time for students and some expectation for students to be able to make reading a lifelong habit. So while it does, more so appeal to those students who are a little bit older, it is open to students that want to take it in any semester of their 4 years in high school. Introduction to computers, it covers kind of the main Microsoft, the Office applications. So gives you a lot of experience with Word, also PowerPoint. You have the option to be able to create presentations and do things with Excel. It's a great course, and the other benefit to it is dual credit. So you could take that as a freshman if you feel as though you might want to brush up those skills. But it is something that can be taken at any point throughout your high school career and go on that college transcript as well. Consumer economics is another great course. Lots of application there and real life skills in terms of just sort of regular living and learning how to function once you get beyond high school. So that's another great course, and freshmen are able to take that as well. And then there are health careers and applications, which kind of builds off of that introduction to kind of health topics and wellness, and kind of pursues that for students who are interested in getting into fields that are more health sciences based. Student Services Department, and you can connect with them after the presentation tonight for sure. You can contact them if you're on virtual only. You can definitely contact them via phone or email, but some of the things that they do for students, they're a great resource. And high school is a complicated time, and so there's always ways that I think we can work with families, work with students to be able to ease some of that stress that comes with this time period. We have a high school 4-year plans academic advisor, Linda. She works with students and families on kind of trying to work through what students might need and what maybe we're looking toward as far as steps beyond high school. We also have our Director of Student Wellness in Ms. Kelly Bush, and she's definitely there as a great resource for our social and emotional support. As I said, just kind of a really complicated time and something that we want to be able to navigate maybe some of those more social emotional issues that come up during that time with our students. We also have access to lots of scholarship opportunities. As you can see from our numbers of scholarships earned, we're always helping students in finding opportunities, but also then completing those applications and trying to best represent themselves in that way. Looking into what's next, what is the next step in our process. But then we also, I think, and this is something that's really important, we also offer accommodations. We have a variety of students who potentially maybe have learning challenges or, need support with organization, need support with just whatever accommodation might be necessary based on a particular diagnosis. And so we function with 504 plans, and we do a lot of communication with our teachers and our students and their families with how do we make learning possible here at Assumption, and how do we make you as successful as we can, in spite of any challenges that might exist with learning. Student involvement, lots of ways to get involved, in extracurricular activities. That's one of the biggest things I tell families, I think, when they say, what makes Assumption unique? And I would say, obviously I'm a product of Assumption, and I can speak to the idea that you can really be involved in a lot of different ways here. You don't have to specialize. You don't have to just pick the one thing that you want to make your passion. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't be passionate about things, but I participated in so many different things. From I was in the choir, and I did the athletic. I was in 3 different athletic teams, and was on student council, and just so many different clubs, and just ways of not only, I think, diversifying my experiences in terms of what I learned through those, but also diversifying my experiences in terms of just exposure to a variety of different people and a lot of different interests. And I think that really makes huge difference in terms of our ability to be able to go on from here and successfully interact and do a lot of the great things that God made us to do. So here's some examples of some clubs, but also within your packet, if you look in your folder, there's a listing of clubs, and that's something where we're always open to student passions, to starting new clubs and expanding ways that they can learn and get involved outside of the school day. Athletics, people ask a lot about, questions about what sports, and, do we have, are you able to participate? If you're doing this, can you also do that? And I would say, as I mentioned before, I think a lot of our students would say that that's one of the great benefits here, that you can share your time. You don't have to just devote yourself to only one thing. Over 70% of our students participate in at least one of our 22 athletic programs. Now, if you look at our enrollment, you would see that there's no way to make that possible if students had to just pick one thing that they did. There's a lot of room for students to be able to go in one season, be involved in one thing, and in another season be involved in something else. We have a lot of history of success there. We've had 52 team state championships in the last 29 years. So definitely a tribute to our hardworking athletes and their coaches. But I think just an overall culture of work ethic is really important, and something that pays dividends even outside of the classroom. All students that are going to be involved with one of our athletic teams, this is just something to be aware of as you're making upcoming doctor's appointments or physicals. You do have to have a physical on file, as well as a heads up concussion form prior to the first day of practice. So if you are somebody who wants to participate in something, say, that begins in the fall, you want to run cross country, or you want to be involved with football or volleyball, I would say definitely take that athletic physical form with you the next time you are at your doctor's visit, so that you can get that completed. Those are things that have to be completed on an annual basis. So, each time you want to participate, you have to make sure that you have a current physical on file before practice begins. Students interested in participating in summer or fall sports, there will be camp and tryout details that will come out after you have applied. You can certainly, you'll be included on some of those school-wide communications that come out on a weekly basis. A lot of times that information comes through our kind of weekly announcements that come out on Fridays. But certainly if you are interested in just knowing a little bit more, even prior to application, our athletic office is more than happy to answer your questions. And they are available tonight, but also via phone or email if you want to reach out to them that way. Tryout information, like I say, that's something that just evolves as the seasons come about. So you just kind of keep your eyes open on our announcements, and even social media accounts. A lot of times, that stuff will be provided in multiple ways. Coach King is here tonight, so he can answer those questions if you have some tonight. Of the 463 students currently at AHS, people often ask that question. Our current enrollment number is 463. We do have nearly 50% participating in at least one capacity in our Assumption Fine Arts program. The drama side of things, we have 4 different main stage shows each year, and we have a variety of students who go from, they do maybe the play in the fall, and then they'll play a winter sport, and they maybe do a spring sport, and then they might do the one act plays at the end of the school year. I mean, there's ways of being involved in both fine arts and in athletics, and that is something that our students have really embraced and found a lot of enjoyment in, but also I think diversified their experiences. Our fine arts department has scheduled 30 community choral performances in 1920. I can't give a current year number just because it was kind of limited with some of the ability to get out there and do some things, but we did still have a variety of opportunities this year for students to be able to sing in virtual senses. But then we also had 13 honor band selections and Division I ratings and solo ensemble last school year. This school year, we had 3 all-state musicians in the class of 2021, so that's really exciting for them as well. Fine arts, broken down kind of theater, band, and choir. So this tells a little bit about each of those departments. I would highly encourage you and invite you. We are going to be putting on the spring musical Shrek on March 5th and 6th, as well as March 7th. And so if you are interested in the drama side of things, that will be an entertaining way to be able to get a little bit of a perspective on that. Our band is also a curricular band. So that is a dual curriculum. You have individual and group rehearsals, and there are breakout bands. So if you are interested in being involved in, say, jazz band, for example, that would be more of an extra type of thing, and they do rehearse for that after school. But that concert band and marching band are during that 8th period of the day. And so symphonic band or concert band is really the focus of 2nd through 4th quarters. And then the marching band, they will march, and that is the focus of 1st quarter. If you have questions on band at all, Mrs. Erin Marr would be more than happy to talk with you. We have a band camp at the end of every summer, and that is a great way for students who are interested in band to be able to connect with future classmates. And she will be sharing information with any of those students who have registered to take band. Choir students also have that private and group lesson structure. So each week you are going to have a more individualized or private lesson with our choir director, Dr. Les, and he is very qualified and really good at working with students both in that larger choir as well as in the individual. So he is also available and interested in answering any questions that you guys have. How do families make this great opportunity possible for their students? What if we have financial barriers? What's the application process? And we're hoping that by now you want to be a part of the Assumption family. So we're going to just talk about kind of those details next here. People ask, what is tuition? Here are the straight figures as far as 2021-22 goes. This is not taking into account any family tuition plan or scholarship assistance. Depending parish-supported students, if you do belong to one of our 8 Catholic parishes and are an active member, then you would qualify based on acceptance from your pastor for parish-supported tuition. If you're a non-parish student and people ask, we're not trying to, pick favorites or anything like that. It's just that our parishes do support the tuition that goes toward those parish-supported. So, that money does come from somewhere. It's not any sort of a coupon or anything. There is money coming from our parishes. They support us to the tune of about $700,000 annually. So, we're grateful to our parishes in wanting that Catholic education for the students and the families that attend. And then we do also have international students, and that is a really awesome program for us. And we bring students here. They stay with host families, and they often spend, up to 4 years with us. And we've had some wonderful experiences with students from other countries, and really, I think, have enriched that cultural experience for both our students and those students who have come. Supporting parishes, we have, as I mentioned, 8 Catholic parishes in Scott County that do support the tuition for our students. And so there is a list of those Catholic parishes. If you are a member of one of those parishes, we will submit your name. After you identify your parish, we'll submit your name to your pastor, and they basically just give the okay that you are an active member. It just depends upon the parish as to how they define active participation, but often it's a combination of time, talent, and treasure in some way, shape, or form. The big thing we want to focus on as far as finances, we would never want finances to stop a family from pursuing the Assumption experience for their students. So there are a lot of ways that we can help, and definitely our business office can speak to that if you have specific questions. Currently, 35% of Assumption students receiving tuition assistance, over $435,000 in 2021. That family tuition plan application You can access that online. So those of you who are coming, from our elementary schools and are familiar with that process, it is the same process at Assumption as what you are familiar with. The thing I would encourage is just apply as early as you have that information, because it can take up to 6 weeks for the processing, and the application deadline is June 30th, and it will require your 2020 Iowa tax return. So as soon as you have that available, I would really encourage you to get on that if you're interested in applying for FTP. There are also 24 privately funded scholarships, and those scholarships were listed out in that informational packet that was provided to your student through their elementary schools. Those are also listed online if you have a question about those, and the application process as well. But those applications are due by April 15th, and we will notify recipients by May 31st. This is not unique for families to receive tuition assistance, and we just want to make sure that families realize, that we are excited to be able to offer opportunities for families who need that help to be able to access it. FTP grants, family tuition plan grants, are determined based on a number of factors, but family income, family size, total tuition required are all elements of what goes into that. We have over 200 students attending our K-12 Catholic schools in Scott County that qualify for free and reduced school lunches. And again, we are just super excited and happy that any family, regardless of all of those factors above, are if they are interested in that Catholic education for their student, that they are able to be a part of what we have to offer here at Assumption. Families in middle income brackets strongly encouraged to apply because they are being utilized by a bunch of current families. And I think that as the tuition dollars go up, you might see a bump in that tuition dollar amount. Even if you applied at your elementary school, your family may be in a different, ability to qualify. Even if you didn't qualify in the elementary school, we encourage you to try again if you feel as though that tuition assistance is something that you need in order to make this possible for your student. Penny Trier and as well as Carrie Jones, are great resources as far as answering questions in our business office. So if you have any questions about that at all, please reach out, and they would be more than happy to answer those. Liz King is also the manager of that tuition assistance program, and so she is a great resource if you've worked with her before. And I guess, we say this is the last major decision you will make for your student. 14 to 18-year-olds, they're kind of on that cusp of a lot more individual thinking and individual decisions. And I think as parents, we want to make sure that we are guiding our students, to really make those decisions that are going to lead to a lot of great decisions beyond this time. So if you're looking to try and make your student a member of the class, AHS class of 2025, our admissions process, as is detailed on the folders that you've gotten as well. You can submit those online at apply.assumptionhigh.org. The application is active as of now, and it can take about 20 minutes to complete, just depending on your information. You will get a confirmation email. And please, this is important, students who have taken accelerated math courses at AHS do not need to submit a new application. We do, however, need you to confirm that you are planning to apply, or you are planning to attend as a freshman by paying that application fee. So we do not charge the application fee when you apply as an accelerated math student, but we do then expect students who are coming in as freshmen to pay that. There is an early bird discount. So if you do it prior to February 15th, it is a $50 fee. And if you do it after February 15th, totally fine. It's just that standard fee of $75. So we're just trying to gather as much information as possible by February 15th. And so those families who are definitely decided and are ready to go, I would say let's get that application completed so that you get that $25 discount. You can do that via the Assumption website. You can list it as a one-time payment and just put in the memo that it is an application fee. You can also just provide a check or cash tonight, or you can drop that off at either our business office or our front office, or you can mail it in. And then once your application and your application fee is received, and again, if you're an 8th grade math student, we have the application already, that's fine. Just that application fee will seal the deal on your admissions process. We actually, I'm just noticing that I need to update this. We've changed our student information system. It says JMC login, but that is actually our last year's student information system. I apologize, but we are utilizing PowerSchool now. And so we will send you an email with your login information to our PowerSchool system, and that will happen within 5 to 7 business days of submitting your application. And that's how you will log in and access the ability to be able to select courses. Again, as I mentioned, we're transitioning to that new student information system. So basically all of this information is going to be sent to you in that confirmation email that you receive after you apply. Those health forms, certificate of dental screening, heads up concussion form, and athletic physical form are the only 3 physical forms that you will need to provide to us prior to or at registration in August. So as you're making those dental and or doctor's appointments, please make sure that you consider getting those forms filled out at that time. Upon receipt of your online application fee and course selections, your student will be added to the class of 2025. There are going to be some events that we're hoping to hold this spring and summer, but again, we'll communicate those officially once we have dates and times confirmed. We will do a freshman social. Right now, we're looking at May 15th for that, and that was included in your information packet. If something changes, obviously, we will let you know. And then that Fresh Start picnic, it is a picnic that we usually host in the summer in conjunction with either a baseball or softball game. But students can come, we do some games and just have an opportunity for them to be able to meet classmates, share a meal, and then they're welcome to stick around for part or as much of the baseball game or softball game as they would like. And it's just a nice opportunity for them to be able to interact socially with their future classmates. And then school registration, there's information about that in your packet as well, but it's that last Monday in July, first Monday in August, to be able to get out course schedules and get school pictures taken, get your school planner, get your laptop, computers, and all that kind of stuff situated. So excited about that. And then we do have freshman orientation, and that is typically a day or 2 prior to the first day of school. And so that there's information about that as well in your packet. But it's a great opportunity for incoming students, new students, to be able to kind of navigate the building prior to a time in which all of our returning students are there as well, and just kind of get a feel for how do I get into my locker, how do I find my classes, who are my teachers, and then we end that with a time where parents are able to join us and, just be able to connect with other new families as well. So here's, kind of our process as far as visiting with any of us after the meeting. Certainly we're here in person if you're here in person, but of course on this virtual meeting, you're encouraged to reach out to us in any format, phone. You can schedule an appointment, meet in person, or you can send us an email and we can chat about your questions that way. But lots of representatives here who are really interested in answering your questions. And again, just equipping you to make that informed choice for your student. We always say once a night, always a night. If there is anything that we can do to help your family discern this high school choice, while it is not maybe the biggest choice you'll ever make, it is a big choice. And it is a time, I think, where students can have a lot of doors open to their future. And we have enjoyed a long history of being able to work with some really wonderful, wonderful students and families. And we would love for you to be a part of that in the future. So again, I guess I would encourage you. I'm happy that you were able to access this information, even if you weren't able to come in person. And I just really look forward to working with you, working with your student. 4 years, believe it or not, I have a senior this year. 4 years goes by really, really quickly. And while it's really awesome, it's also just a time where you want to be able to surround yourself and you want to surround your students with people who are looking for their best interests. And we love trying to be that for families, be that with students, and just, I guess, help them to realize all the wonderful, wonderful things that God has given them to be able to make a difference in this world and go out and do really great things. So hope you have a great night. And again, we would love to hear from you. We look forward to any questions that you might want to ask. So thanks.